What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Liam 501st channel, and today we have a lot to go over with the Disney presentation today with Star Wars and Marvel. But first, I would like to introduce my friend. Today, I am joined by my friend Josh. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. You ready to dive in?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All
It's
right,
been a
before
big
we
day.
get started, guys, be sure to like the video and subscribe. So, you watched the. We'll start with Star Wars. So, a lot got announced today. We got Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, the Bad Batch. What are your thoughts?
I mean, so I first saw the announcement. It said like Disney is going to have 10 Star Wars series, 10 Marvel series, 15 original animated, or Disney animated series, and then 15. I think it was 15 series, 15 movies. And I was like, and it's all going to be Disney Plus. And I was like, that's a lot. I mean, like they're really pushing a lot over the next couple of years, which makes sense. I mean, they have the service. They might as well do it. And then I slowly started seeing more come out with, with Star Wars. And the first thing I saw was the Ahsoka Tano series, and then it was I forgot what it was, the New Republic show.
The Rangers of the New Republic?
Rangers of the New Republic, yeah. And it said, they're directly tied to Mandalorian. I'm like, that makes sense. We saw Ahsoka, it's going to be Rosario Dawson, who plays Ahsoka. I'm like, great. She was awesome. Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to see the two New Republic, like people we saw, the pilots. I'm assuming we're going to see them again. I mean, they're not just going to introduce them and then take them away like that. So I was really excited. And then the biggest thing that made me think that I was in the car. I went to go get crickets for my lizard. I came out and I saw Hayden Christensen returning as Darth Vader in Obi-Wan series. And when I tell you, I screamed in my car before I drove. I mean, I yelled so loud. I was just like, F yeah, like this is like, I was so excited. I love Anakin Skywalker. I mean, I love Hayden Christensen.
Oh yeah.
To make him Darth Vader is going to be really interesting. I think that's smart. I could even see him. I was thinking, I'm like, he's probably going to appear in Ahsoka as a Force Ghost.
That'd be interesting. It'll depend on when Ahsoka takes place. But here's the funny thing: is I had no idea this presentation was going on.
Yeah, so I found out Facebook,
I saw the announcement of Ahsoka. I was like, "This is just a random announcement." Ahsoka. I'm like, okay. And then I saw more announcements on Twitter, and I saw, oh wow, look at all this stuff. And some of the stuff we've already known, like the Bad Batch, for instance, was already announced. But now we got a trailer, and I watched the trailer. It is phenomenal.
It's awesome. Dude. It's so cool. I mean, it's everything. It's everything I was hoping for. And I know if the trailer's that good, the show is going to blow it out of the water. I mean, that's what
as long as Filoni's working on it, it'll be good. All right, so why don't we go ahead and get started on going through? I want to double check. So first off, it was the first announcement on screen is the Rangers of the New Republic. This I believe is the one that's going to center around Cara Dune. And then I think, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the sequel trilogy, but I think this is going to be definitely interesting.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting because it won't actually be the sequels because the New Republic doesn't exist in the sequels. The New Republic was destroyed. Mm-hmm. So this will be that interesting.
This will probably take place around like the Mandalorian or somewhere in that 30-year timeline.
I mean, it says it right there, set within the timeline of Mandalorian. So
okay,
I think that'll be good because we will see sort of the way that the New Republic shifted, and I hope we actually will see the rise of the First Order. We start to see maybe their inklings. And in obviously Mandalorian, we see the Empire is still here. I would like to see if that somehow transitions, if they are completely destroyed, and then a new group of guys comes up. I think that'll be really interesting, and I hope that's what we see. But then I would also like to see, I mean, as much as I'm not a fan of, the Rebels, I'm not a Rebels person. I think, I'm Empire at heart. I will like to see the New Republic, and I would like to see how they kind of maintain control.
And it's 6 years that the Mandalorian said after Return of the Jedi?
I believe so.
Yeah, and I think Star Wars Squadron's a video game that came out this year is set I think 5, so it's kind of close. Where the Empire is still around. It's really interesting though that the Empire even 5 years after is still around.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of hinted that the Death Star was, the Death Star and the collapse of the Emperor and death of the Emperor and the death of Vader did do a lot. It fundamentally destroyed them, but they still existed as a whole, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and even we knew that the Empire hadn't gone away after Return of the Jedi because with The Force Awakens and with Battlefront 2015, we saw that the Battle of Jakku took place a year after Return of the Jedi, and that was supposed to be like the big fall of the Empire, but apparently it's still around. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. But it's probably going to be good. All right, so the next one is obviously the Ahsoka announcement with Rosario Dawson. I absolutely love that episode. I thought she was great as Ahsoka. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, she killed it. I think from everything to the white lightsaber. I mean, they paid such attention to her detail, because I remember seeing the white lightsaber and I was like, wait, why does she have a white lightsaber guy? And it made me go do my own research. And I'm like, right. So like that was cool how they paid a little homage to everything. She was perfect. I mean, she was everything Ahsoka should have been. I know people were a little worried. I wasn't worried. I was like, they're going to do fine. Again, it's Filoni. He's going to do fine. So yeah. And then the show, I mean, I would like to see maybe them focusing on what happens after Order 66 a bit, because we obviously see that she faked her death. I would like to see it, maybe everything even in the Ahsoka like the book, kind of brought to life. I think it'd be really cool. Her finding the Inquisitor and taking her lightsaber and everything like that'd be really cool. But I also like to see some original stuff, some new things. I think that'd be really cool too. So I guess we'll see what happens.
That's how she got her white lightsaber, is because she's an Inquisitor, and that's unbled that stopped the bleeding of the lightsaber. Yep.
Yeah. And it just didn't take color.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have the Cassian Andor series. Someone who absolutely loves Rogue One and thinks it's the best. It is the best Disney Star Wars movie up till this point. I am actually really excited for this. I liked Cassian as a character, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him. They're definitely probably going to make him flush him out a lot more, give him a little bit of a backstory to that character we knew in Rogue One.
Yeah, and I agree. Rogue One is fantastic. I actually do like Solo. I think Solo actually did pretty well.
Solo was fine.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, but Rogue One was a genuine story that really was engaging. So I'm actually excited to see this. I like Cassian. I agree. Cassian's character is really cool. Exploring his backstory more, but really, hopefully, his backstory, maybe how he joined the Rebels, how he became such a trusted pilot to the Rebels, would be cool. I think it'd be cool if maybe he met, if we see Luke appear, maybe he met Luke, maybe, something like that.
Well, Cassian died before A New Hope, so it won't happen.
That's yeah. I mean, I could even see him though, because he traveled, did he just meet Luke? Did he just meet Luke in Tatooine?
Run into Luke on Tatooine? Yeah,
right. Something like that, or did he meet Leia? Did he meet Leia when because she was part of the rebellion and everything?
That reminds me, by the way, that one thing that I find interesting is, did Ahsoka ever meet Luke?
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be an interesting story, because have you heard the whole thing that people want Sebastian Stan to be a younger Luke?
Oh yeah, I've seen it because
he looks just like him.
Photoshopping, yeah, he looks just like him. Just like him on the wig and the outfit. He looks just like Mark Hamill did in the 80s.
Yeah, so I mean, people are like, I could see, because obviously there's a lot of spoilers for Mandalorian here, but there's a lot of theory about who the Jedi is that's going to confine him, who's going to confine Grogu. So
I have a theory that it's either going to be Luke or Ezra, based on the name drop we got in the other episode with Ahsoka.
Yeah, I think Ezra, or possibly I think it'd be cool if they brought in Cal Keston.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it'd be interesting. Yeah. I mean, I know he's the actor. Cameron Moynihan's down for it. He's like, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
They'd have to age him though, because it's 20 years. Jedi Fallen Order and The Mandalorian take place 20 years apart though.
Do they?
Yeah, because Fallen Order takes place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, and then that's 15 to 20 years before Return of the Jedi, and then you got to add another 5, so it'd actually be closer to 25.
I didn't realize the time jump was that big.
Between 3 and 4, it's 20, and then it's 4 years in between 4 and 6.
Really interesting. Okay, then maybe. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That'd be interesting.
All right, I think this is the one that everybody was. People have been asking for this for years.
Oh my God!
I didn't know that Hayden Christensen was coming back. That's going to be awesome.
That was announced today. I mean, I knew obviously Ian McGregor was coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, I remember they announced the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and I'm like, awesome. They have such a cool opportunity to really work with a lot. But but seeing that name, that glorious name, Hayden Christensen returns, seeing that was it was honestly one of the happiest I've been in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it was what I needed in 2020.
He's gonna get another shot.
And and the funny thing is, I was thinking, like, how did they convince him to come back? Because obviously he was really scared. I'm sure he was. But I think now we see that. I mean, he's a fan favorite, and everyone loves it. I mean, everyone loves Anakin Skywalker now. The prequels are so much more appreciated now.
I think that also has to do with the fact that the generation that grew up with the prequels is now old enough to voice their opinions on social media, and then we have the kids who grew up the Clone Wars, like myself.
Right. Yeah, and for sure, and they've really expanded on that, and I think that helps. So I'm sure he was like, "Do you know what? I'll give it another shot." Also, they probably wrote him a really big check, and he's not going to turn down. I mean, he's got to be making millions of dollars off of this.
Yeah. That's how you get Harrison Ford to appear in another Star Wars movie. You write him a big check.
Yeah. You can write him a big check and say you don't have to shave, and he'll was like, "All right, fine."
Yeah. All right. Speaking of the Clone Wars, though, this is the one that I am looking forward to the most, and that is the Bad Batch, the sequel series to the Clone Wars. The trailer kind of gives a sight like what the Bad Batch are going to be doing after Order 66. And the thing is, though, is I didn't expect we were going to see any other clones in it. But in the trailer, there's tons of like regular clone troopers, and I'm interested. Like, are they going to have to fight like the clone troopers, or are they going to be on the side of Palpatine?
Yeah. So from what I understand, I mean, because they kind of said like their inhibitor chips don't work, or like they remove them in a weird way. Like they hinted that like they're not there. Either they're not there or they remove them themselves because they're so smart and they realize like let's get rid of these things.
Because tech is like the genius.
So I think they hinted that like they're gone. So what I'm assuming is during Order 66, they're going to think obviously they're on their side, but as soon as they start killing the Jedi, they're going to realize Bad Batch isn't, and then Bad Batch is going to have to just kill a bunch of clones. It's going to be really sad, but unfortunately they're going to have to do it. And I mean, obviously they're going to walk away fine. They're way more powerful than regular clones. So that'll be interesting. But I also think it'll be interesting to see. Like what if they do like a sequel or like during the Clone Wars, what they were doing, like maybe missions like that. That'd be cool because like obviously they're not going to interact with Anakin or Ahsoka at all.
It's going to start before Order 66, and then it's going to blend in.
Yeah, and then we see like what happened afterwards. How did they escape?
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Did you see Tarkin in that trailer? He looked pretty good.
He did. Yeah, he did.
He's aging pretty well, and then you got Palpatine with that massive amount of clones that reminded me of Hux's speech in The Force Awakens. That looked really cool.
Yeah. It's gonna be a cool series.
Yeah. Next up, this one is interesting though. I'm not super interested in it, or like I'm not super excited because I don't know what it's gonna be like. But I think I'll probably still watch it. Is this Visions thing? It's gonna be. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna tell Star Wars, but in anime, is what it looks like.
Yeah. I don't know. Like from what I understand, it's just a bunch of short stories, which could be cool because I think it reminds me of Marvel What If, where it's going to be a lot of different types of exploring different parts of the universe, potentially even what if this, like what if, like I think it'd be cool if they said the question of what if Anakin didn't get burned. What if Anakin killed Obi-Wan and didn't get burned? How would that? I think we could explore that,
like what if, like what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, like explore alternate universes. I think that, or like alternate realities. I think that'd be really cool. We'll see what they do. I mean, I would love to see like personally, like hey, Anakin didn't get burned, or even he didn't kill Obi-Wan, but they let each other go. Like what would happen? To that sort of thing. How different is his Vader? Because I think because the reason that Vader is so weakened is because Palpatine made him that way. Because like basically when Anakin lost his limbs, Palpatine knew Anakin could kill him in a heartbeat. I mean, he knew. So he saw that as an opportunity. He made like all his prosthetics are super, super uncomfortable. They're like old prosthetics. They dig into his skin. His suit actually is uncomfortable on his burned skin. Like it's super, super irritating. It's supposed to keep his anger up too. That's the whole point. So you'd kind of have to see Palpatine react to that. And more being on edge, and instead of making him his lapdog, he'd be more on edge with him because he's like he'd kill me at any minute, and I wouldn't even be able to see it.
Have you seen the Star Wars Theory Vader fan film?
I don't believe so.
because it definitely dives into like it focuses on Vader, and it kind of shows his internal conflict between the Emperor and and Padme, like his love for Padme, like what has he done? It takes place like a couple of months after Order 66, and he's like mentally, it's really interesting. I'd recommend you watch it. It's
I'll
like
watch it.
15 minutes. Unfortunately, though, it's probably going to be a while before we get an episode 2. And episode 1 kind of ended on quite the cliffhanger.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
next, we have a Lando show that's coming out. And if you remember, during the Solo premiere, Kathleen Kennedy kind of hinted that the next movie was going to be a Lando film. But then that obviously didn't happen. And now it's going to be a Disney Plus show. Like, what are your thoughts? You think it should be Donald Glover or Billy Dee?
I would like to see Donald Glover. I really would. Billy would be cool because obviously we haven't seen Lando in a while. I can even see them taking it more of a after Rise of Skywalker, because you remember when he was like, who's your family? Do you want to find out? Exploring that aspect would be cool. But the problem is Billy's getting old. So they'd really have to film this and get it out quickly, because if they do a season 2, he's old. I mean, he's an old guy.
Yeah.
So they probably don't want to bank too much on it. I think that what they'll probably do is bank on a younger version of a Lando, kind of do a, after Solo sort of thing. How we acquired Cloud City, all that sort of stuff. I think that'd be cool, and I think bringing Glover back would be good. I mean, I think he was a great Lando. He was
really good as Lando.
I mean, he's just so, it's just the way he's suave, the way he talks and the way he walks is perfect. So I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and then the other one. This one we kind of knew was happening, is that Leslie Headland was bringing life a new Disney Plus series called you say Acolyte, right?
The Acolyte, yeah.
All right. And it looks like it's going to be taking place during the High Republic, which is I think the books that are coming out the High Republic, they're going to be about 200 years before the prequels.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. I had heard some stuff regarding the show, like what it's going to be about, that like it wasn't good before. Like, did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear much.
It was going to be female centric, if you know what I mean.
Okay. So sort of
that she was that a lot of people got called out saying, you don't market a series like that. You market it as a by the story that just happens to have female characters in it.
Right.
It's not a way to promote a story.
I mean, and I agree. I mean, I think if you market the whole thing on it's all focused on this woman. What does she do? We don't know yet, but it's a woman. I'll be like, I don't care. What is the story?
Exactly.
What happens? What does she do? If she's a cool character, I don't care who. If it's a cool character and a cool story, that's fine. But I agree. If you focus on it's a woman and it's gonna be women centric, it's like, okay, is it a good story though? Yeah. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is it a good story? Because you can't have diversity just for diversity's sake. Don't just throw in. I mean, and this goes for anything. I mean, don't just throw in a black character or a woman character just because. Give them a good substance, or else they're going to look like that token character. You don't want that. You want them to have good substance and be an actual character. Like, hey, Lando's a good character because he's a good character. He was well written. Right, he's well written. Leia is well written. That's why she's a fan favorite. That's why people don't like Rey as much. She wasn't as well written. It just depends on the writing of the story you create for them. People like Padme because she's well written.
People love Ahsoka. Like
people like Ahsoka. Yeah.
At the beginning of the show, people said she was kind of annoying. I mean, I think I probably liked her to begin with because she was a new character and I was young and I was like, oh wow, a new character. And over time, though, the story, she was well written by Filoni, and that led to her becoming one of the most beloved characters in Star Wars.
I agree. Yeah, exactly. So it's like you really have to focus on. They really have to focus on making the story good. Mm-hmm. If they don't, it's over. It's over. I mean, people aren't going to like it.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it though because it's Star Wars. But
yeah. I mean, I'll watch it.
And then this one though is kind of interesting. It's an animated short about It's called a Droid Story, and it's gonna be guided by C-3PO and R2-D2. So that's for me. That's sold. Like that's the duo that started it all.
Yeah, I mean that is the duo right there.
Yeah, definitely. And then we got some other announcements like Willow, not Star Wars, but Indy 5. That's good to hear. Some updates. And then I think there was one more. There was Taika Waititi is going to be making a Star Wars feature.
Yeah,
that's because he was great with Thor Ragnarok, in my opinion. And I think Thor and Love and Thunder is probably going to be pretty good.
If it's him, if it's him, I trust him. I mean, he directs so well. Everything he does is just fantastic. He really takes stories to different different parts that you really don't see. Like the reason, because like Thor 1 and 2 aren't great. Thor 1 is okay. Thor 2 is not good.
Dark World is probably one.
Dark World's horrible.
If not, it's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, Ragnarok was good because it was different. Because it didn't take itself too seriously, but it also did at the same time. It had that perfect.
It was comedic.
It had that perfect blend of comedy with also serious storytelling. It was cheesy at times, yes, but I mean that's going to happen. The color, I mean, the bright colors were new. Just everything was so new, and it was like this is what we're.
Which one is above? Which one of these all three of the Thor trilogies? Which one is consistently in the top half of people's ranking list? It's always
Ragnarok. I mean,
and
Ragnarok,
Thor 1 are usually in the bottom half.
I think Ragnarok is probably my third.
Top 10 for sure.
It's probably my third. I would say it's my third favorite Marvel movie.
Nice. And then this is the last one, I think. Yeah, last one from Star Wars, and this came as a surprise. Is that Patty Jenkins is directing a Rogue Squadron movie?
Yeah. So that'll be really interesting. I think it'll be cool to see. I like how she kind of started the video with like, I want to tell a fighter pilot story.
That's heart right there. That's heart.
Yeah. And my dad was a fan of Star Wars. He was a fighter pilot. I want to blend the two. Well, here we go. And it's like, that to me shows she's passionate about the project. It's kind of a homage to him. And that to me automatically
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It just automatically makes me like it more because it's a homage to her dad. And I'm like, I like that.
Yeah. I think hopefully we'll get to see something like a Top Gun style.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
When she was on the base and like, I've always wanted to make a fighter movie. I'm like, Top Gun for sure.
Yeah. I thought they were announcing a new Top Gun. Like the sequel hasn't even come out yet, but like, who knows?
Yeah. Have you played the Rogue Squadron games on the
Not
Nintendo
yet.
64? I have played that entire game through. It is fantastic. I really hope they take some inspiration from that in this upcoming movie.
Gotcha. Have you played the new Squadrons game?
I did. I really enjoyed the campaign.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I got to get that.
Although there were some things that threw me off a little bit. That kind of had me checked out of the whole the game. But overall, it was pretty good.
That's good. Yeah.
The campaign, the story was good. They had some really interesting characters. They brought back some legacy ones like Wedge and Hera.
Oh, cool. Okay.
No Akbar though, but we had an Akbar substitute. But it was pretty good.
That's good. Yeah, I got to get that game.
It's like $25 now. I bought it full price. It's like $25 now.
Yeah, it's really cheap. So I once I get a little bit of cash, that's probably what I'm going to do. Like after I work a little bit, I'll get that and invest some time in it. Well, I'm still in my never-ending fight for a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I probably won't get that till probably next year, but who knows?
Yeah,
let's see.
Who knows? We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So one final thing I want to talk to you about, Josh, is that with all of these announcements that we just got for Star Wars, there was one that was missing. Where was Rian Johnson's trilogy? Where was the announcement of his trilogy? Because before The Last Jedi even came out, Kathleen Kennedy announced he was getting an entire trilogy. No announcement.
Yeah. I mean, geez, I don't know. I have such mixed feelings on Rian Johnson. I mean, I think The Last Jedi was garbage. I think it had great potential, but he really ruined it. I just don't think the Skywalker saga was where he should be. So, but I will give him faith because maybe he will do good with a different story. Knives Out was a fantastic movie. I love Knives Out. I've watched it, I think, twice now. It's just well directed, well written. Everything's really good. He's a great director. But yeah, I mean, I maybe it got delayed a bit. Maybe maybe they are still kind of figuring out what they want to do. I know there's been a lot of theories about what they will do. Maybe he's trying to hammer down, hey, you know, I want to cover this timeline. I want to cover this timeline. I want to cover this story. Maybe he's trying to craft something completely new, and that's what's taking so long. Is he's really pulling from people who know the Star Wars universe and especially the expanded and Legends universe.
Yeah, right. And we know that ever since the backlash of The Last Jedi, he's come out and mocked fans. He's been defending his movie as if it's a masterpiece, and let's be honest, it's garbage.
It's shot pretty. I mean, there's pretty scenes.
Oh yeah,
it's very beautiful. It's very well shot. It's just not well written. It's not well written. It's not well acted, and he destroyed a lot of good potential that he had, especially with like Phasma. I mean, Phasma was a great character that we could have had, and I mean,
just to have her come back and die again.
Right, and I was like, why? I'm like, Phasma was this. We could have had such a cool sequence with her, you know, because is it true that her armor was Beskar?
Maybe, I don't know, but it deflected bullets because when Rose shot at her, it just went.
Right. Well, I mean, because if it's Beskar, then Rey won't be able to. A lightsaber can't cut through it.
There we go.
So
who knows?
How would that have been? You know, things like that. And yeah, I don't know. I think Johnson, again, I'll give Johnson the benefit of the doubt that maybe if he gets away from Skywalker, he'll do good. But Skywalker, he's got to stay away from. I would say he's got to stay away from everything that's been covered. Do his own thing. Maybe they are delaying it. Maybe they have thought about it and said, maybe we shouldn't do this. I don't know. I would like. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, what I'll say is that people have asked him, like, "Hey, are you getting this trilogy?" He's like, "Yep, still working on it." And then he's done interviews where he's been like, "You know, we'll see what's happening. You know, I'm still talking with Lucasfilm, and if they want to do it, great. If not, I'll just keep working on my own stuff." And when it comes to his own stuff, I really liked Knives Out. I thought it was a really good movie, and that pretty much shows that he's a great director. And he's a good writer, but when it comes to Star Wars, he's not good at writing that, or he's not good at writing something that has had 40 years of the past before it, because this was the 40th anniversary of A New Hope. And when he has to write, he has to put it in the continuity. And he said he doesn't even think about continuity or lore when he comes to writing movies. So that's probably the problem where it was at. So I mean, you can't do that with you're right, with a movie that's so well known, so well beloved by so many people. I mean, yeah. The thing with the trilogy and why I'm really not sure it's happening is that after The Last Jedi, Lucasfilm could have completely ignored the criticism. They could have completely ignored it and just said, "No, we're moving forward." But the fact that The Rise of Skywalker retconned so many things about The Last Jedi, and then JJ had like 3 or 4 moments where he just gave a middle finger to The Last Jedi, proves that Lucasfilm heard everything. And if they want to keep the money coming in, you're going to have to make some changes. And I don't think Rian Johnson's trilogy is happening. They don't have to ever say, "Yeah, it's not happening," but they don't ever have to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, J.J. Abrams, they just released a bunch of concept. What would have been had J.J. had the entire trilogy, or had Rian Johnson not butchered, you know, Last Jedi so much.
I think J.J. had done the entire trilogy, it would have been a more coherent story.
Yeah, and so, but they released a bunch of concept art and the whole premise of what the Rise of Skywalker would have been. It would have been a much better movie. I mean, it's a decent movie. It's not the worst. But I mean, you would have seen R2D2 would have died.
Oh, that was Colin Trevorrow's concept art for Episode 9.
Yeah. They went through the art, but I think it was
Trevorrow's.
I thought the story was what JJ originally wanted.
Possibly, but that was concept that Trevorrow had.
Yeah, Trevorrow had, but I think it was JJ originally wanted it, but like he's like, I can't do any of this now. Like I have to fix what Johnson, you know, butchered. I mean, it would have been a fantastic story. R2 dying would have been really incredibly sad, but like, you know, the whole Rey disappearing, presumed dead. Kylo still would have died, which I think that's my biggest gripe. Is Kylo should have lived and Rey should have died. That's my biggest gripe.
I will say, I think Kylo's definitely a more interesting character than Rey.
Kylo was. I remember the first movie. I'm like, he's kind of like this just whiny little kid. But after seeing his character, I'm like, no, like I get it. He's he's striving for greatness, but in the wrong way. And I understood him more. I love Adam Driver too. I mean, Adam Driver is easily one of the greatest. I mean, he's such a good actor.
He's a great actor.
He's hilarious. I mean, he's just really funny too. I mean, dude's a Marine, so he's got a great sense of humor, which I love. I mean, I remember at the Golden Globes when Ricky Gervais gave his wonderful speech that, you know, Hollywood was like, they cut to Adam Driver and he is just dying laughing in his seat because he's like, I mean, it's
one where Tom Hanks is like,
yeah, and then you cut to Adam Driver and he's just giggling to himself like this. I like this. Like, I'm like, it's a style of humor. I mean, I play the the Adam Driver yelling compilation on YouTube. I'll play that like twice a day just because it's hilarious to hear him just yell. I mean, he's a good guy, and I think Kylo Ren had a really. I think Kylo Ren could have done the full circle that Rey did, where, but instead of being Padawan to Sith to Jedi, where Rey was just nobody to Jedi to, oh my God, I'm a Palpatine. So that's why I have the darkness. Like, Kylo could have been cool because it's like, I learned the darkness, I learned the light, and I chose the neutral. And I think he could have had a really
Jedi. Like Ahsoka.
Like, yeah, Gray or again, or the Guardian, one of the Guardians that, Rey has the yellow lightsaber. He could have easily picked up a yellow lightsaber.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't know. And then they buried Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber in the sand. Really? Of all places, in the sand? Come on.
I love the memes where it's Force Ghost Anakin. He's like, take it out.
Take it out.
Lightsaber out of the sand.
Stop. Yeah, which is probably what he did. He's probably like, what? Really? Of all places? Like, yeah. I don't know.
So I this would have been the perfect time to announce it because it literally looks like they dropped everything they were planning to do. Same with Marvel, as they were dropping everything they were planning to do. But this would have been the perfect time to drop the announcement of the trilogy, but they didn't, and that's why I think it leads me to it to not happen. Could it still happen? Absolutely. I think it will probably fail miserably.
I think if they are doing it, they're playing it, they're kind of playing the cards close to their chest, where they're not going to really announce it until they have a complete story with complete overlook and they're going to do continuity overlooks. It's going to be he's going to direct it. It's not going to be his story though. It's going to be, he came up with the concept and Disney wrote it. I mean, there you go. It's just, yeah. So,
right. And that is where we are going to wrap it. We got through all the news. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Definitely some exciting stuff to look forward. There is a future for Disney Star Wars. I'll give it that, especially after the rise of Skywalker. There was not a very bright future, but now it looks like there's light at the end of the tunnel. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications, and we will see you next time.